9 minutes on to 7 o'clock. At that time again to say good morning to you, Grenada Carrier Crew, Petite Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the rest of the world. How are you doing this morning? I hope you're doing fine. Yeah. Saying good morning to you, Yolande Swan, and the rest of the folks out there in Upper St. John and St. Andrew. How are we doing this morning? Hope you had a restful night. But now I know just where I'm going. And that everything is all right. And even if everything is not all right, you're not doing too bad, okay? Come with that name, and it will pacify all things. Uncle Glyden, good morning. How you doing? You and the entire home circle. I haven't heard you in ages, bro. You alright? Trevs, good morning. Auntie Elsa. Reaching out to the folks inside of La Tasse and La Poterie. River Sally, good morning. Gogo, good morning. You alright? Nice. Gotta come home to Moya and Conference, Carrier, surrounding areas. Uncle John, Toti, how you do? You good? That's a nice name. Someone sent me this on WhatsApp, on the WhatsApp platform. It says, and then one day I looked in the mirror and realized, wow, after all the hurts, the bruises, and everything I've been through, I made it. I did it. I survived and I'm stronger. So guess what? I stood up tall and I straightened my crown and walked away like a boss. That's the idea. You will survive it, huh? Yeah, you always do. Also said, if you give 100% to your purpose, there is nothing, and let me reiterate this, absolutely nothing left over to feel bad about. You give 100% to your purpose, you have 0%, nothing, absolutely nothing, zilch, to feel bad about. You know that you gave your all and a little more. Catherine Phillips says, good morning, Grenada. Good morning, Innocent. Good morning, Catherine. How are you this morning? Keep the thoughts coming, man. Another one says, when you blindly follow others, you will be blind to their true colors. Yeah, it's so important to pay attention to this, you know. These things are real, you know. Take them into deep consideration. It's 25 minutes on to 7 o'clock. Let's get with the program this morning. And how are we doing this morning? The folks in the diaspora, good morning. Paula Paul, good morning. I'm not seeing you at all. Marva Moore says good morning. Have a blessed day. Same to you, Marva. Want to say good morning to the folks inside of Paraclete and Blaise. Shanelin Thomas, good morning to you. Brady and the guys out there in Paraclete, what's up? Yeah, everything is good. I hope so, right? Nice. Moncton, good morning. Uncle Eiffel Romaine. Yeah, stay strong, Papi, stay strong. Stalin, Kozo, good morning. Saying good morning to Atkinson Felix and family out there in Caruth. Good morning. Yeah. Teacher Dawn and the home circle, good morning. How you do? You alright? Derek DJ Vika Noel, good morning to you and the home circle. Madame, good morning to you. Saw Princess the other day, boy. Oh my goodness. Princess is now a big lady. It's amazing how time flies and the children grow up so quick, man. I know in my time, you know, you're 15 years old and you're still the same place when they... Is it the food? Good morning to you, Verna. How you doing out there in Hope? Hope, good morning. Yeah. Ross Stumpy Calist. Good morning. And the entire home circle. Teacher Yvette, good morning to you. You all right? Nice. Good. Let's go to the word for the day. The word for the day today, it is an adjective. It is a descriptive word. The word is gullible. Gullible. It is spelled G-U-L-L-I-B-L-E. G-U-L-L-I-B-L-E. Now, someone described as gullible is easily fooled or cheated. In other words, they are quick to believe something that is not true. Yeah, sometimes I'm gullible. Come with any old story and you catch me sometimes, you know, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Here's how we can use that word in a sentence. The store sells overpriced souvenirs to gullible tourists, and no self-respecting local would shop there. Yeah, vendors, the season opening up. Make sure all you have everything in place, all right? Yeah, the tourist season, the cruise ship season is about to start. So I hope you have the booths cleaned up and presentable and you're getting your pricing and everything in order. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't want to be overcharging. You don't want to undercharge also. You understand? You don't want to charge too low so that you steal away the sales from your competitors. And at the end of the day, you have a lot of sales, but you're not seeing the money in the bag. Ensure that your pricing are fair, you know, your pricings, make sure they're fair. Alright, nice. The tourist vendors in on the beach mall down in Grenada. Good morning. Mr. Nixon Phillip, good morning to you and the family, man. How you doing? Nice. Saying good morning to my buddy in the north, Andre Donald. Good morning, bro. What's up? How are you doing? We haven't touched base in ages. Robert White, good morning to you, bro, and the White family out there. Mali. Nadisha, here's your thing, all right? I must call Nadisha's name whenever I do the thought of the day. She loves that. And as I'm there, good morning to Cafe and Crowshoe and Bacolet and, surrounding areas. Good morning to all of you. The thought for today is very short. The self is made, not given. The self is made, not given. You make yourself. Nobody can give you. Circumstances around might assist in forming you, but you have to make you. You understand? If you sit back and expect somebody to make you, well, you're lost. Nice. Good. Good morning to Gary, Mr. Smooth Roberts. Howdy do? Saying good morning to Catherine and Renee and the entire team down there at Hotspot, the Carnage, and the Bruce Street Mall. Good morning. All the members of staff and everybody, good morning. Yeah, getting the prices down for you as always. That's what they do. 20 minutes on to 7 o'clock. The folks at Norris James New Business Systems. Good morning also, Miss Cadet and the team. How are you doing? Nice. What's buzzing this morning? Well, I have two sets of guests this morning. First, I have Gaffin will be here as we talk credit unions this morning. The role Gaffin plays in regulating the credit unions here. And then that will be followed by a team from Ariza. Yeah, I think it's Ariza that's coming this morning. So we've got it booked, we've got it logged. But buzzing this morning, of course, I have to remind you that the hunting season for the manikou, tattoo, iguana, the ramier, and the monkey, well, it's been open from the 1st of October, and that opening season runs until the 31st of December. Again, let me remind you that if you are going to hunt on people's property, you need to seek their permission first, okay? Especially if the people have their place fenced around, and barricaded. You don't want to just jump the fence because a manikou is on the breadfruit tree and low down on, on a branch and you feel you can just, no. That's not how it's done. Seek the relevant permission first, or else you will be trespassing, and that's an offense. You can be charged in the court of law. Okay? And even if the season is open and you see a manikou that's really small, oh my goodness, it wouldn't look good in the bottom of the pot. You understand what I'm saying? So, be conscious of that. You don't want to kill the young ones and then you have, you have problems later on. All right, then. 50, good morning. Yeah, don't overhunt, all right? Nice. And there are some protected areas, like inside of Fort Judy and so forth. I've seen the sign up, no hunting in this area. So don't. Nice. Today's Thursday. Yeah, what else is buzzing? Okay, congratulations again. Continue with celebrating you all this week. The national netball team winning the tournament, the OECS tournament. Also, the mathematics workshop. Well, it starts today. Dr. Yap Banhar is already here. The workshop starts at the Trade Center today. There's an opening ceremony just around 8 o'clock that will run up to about 10. And then the workshop gets underway, and then it continues tomorrow. Yep. Con Festival is back the 8th year, and they will be hosting the event on the Sister Isle. The family event is anticipated to be grand, as many participants near and far are expected to attend. Those are the stories that are buzzing, and I do hope that, you pay attention and keep in the know. Bernadette Lewis says, good morning from Brooklyn, New York. Good morning, Bernadette. John Best, good morning, my beautiful homeland. Aruba is in the house. Wow, Aruba, yeah. How many rivers are there in Aruba? I understand not many, right? If there's any at all. Good morning, bro. How you do? Tell me, how many rivers are there in Aruba? Okay, so folks, this is where we take the break. We break off as we do the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather here. Those of you who are on the television platform, you've got a rebroadcast of last evening's television news. So stick and stay with the network. We'll be back on the flip side of 7.
Someone to help you to your feet. I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. Oh, I'll be right next to you. No, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands. We got everything we need. Cause you can look to me whenever you're in need. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side. Never to divide. The light that shines our way. Wherever you run, we'll make your dreams come true. Next time, next to you.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Good evening. This is GBN's News at 7. Less than a month after concluding her life-changing ministries crusade in Grenada, which came under intense scrutiny, its founder, Apostle Cheryl Bartley, has made international news. Rena Pierre-Thomas is following this developing story.
Apostle Cheryl Brotley, who was recently forced to permanently end her 4-day crusade at the Grenada Boys Secondary School auditorium, is back in the spotlight following the death of a man she was baptizing. The apostle, in her latest video on live social media, was conducting a baptism when one male allegedly drowned. According to a news article on BBC News official online page, a 46-year-old woman was arrested in Birmingham on Tuesday and released on bail while inquiries continued on suspicion of manslaughter after a man died during a baptism ceremony. Emergency services confirmed that the male in his 60s died at a private address in Erdington on Sunday. The article went on to say that the man was taking part in the ceremony carried out by Life Changing Ministry in a small pool in the property's garden. The baptism event was streamed live on the church Facebook page, but the stream was cut during the event and the video later removed. Life Changing Ministry founder Cheryl Reed Bartley said on the Facebook page on Monday that a man called Robert Yap had died during her baptism the day before. She explained what transpired, and her response has lifted eyebrows.
And all of a sudden, this man was just sleeping in the water. I mean, sleep. He hasn't taken no water, anything like that. This man was just sleeping. Was just sleeping. So I lift him up. As many of you see me sleep, I lift him up, but he was, he was still breathing there. I lift him up, so we took him out the water. His heart rate was okay. There was nothing, but at this time he had a glimpse of heaven. He had a glimpse of heaven, and so it was a fight there.
Following the death of this man, the apostle said he secured his place in heaven.
I said this man wanted to secure his place in heaven. This man wanted to secure his place in heaven. Him and the Lord had a conversation. You know how our baptism go, okay? You know how it goes. That many people got glimpse of heaven. Many people got glimpse of the two road which one to. You know how it goes. You know that life-changing baptism is, there's no words. Some come up and they see God himself, they see the Father, they see all sort of stuff. Life-changing ministry baptism, it's not normal.
In the BBC News article, the West Midland Ambulance Service said it was called about 1:40 p.m. on Sunday to a medical emergency involving a man at a private address on Sled Road. They stated, and I quote, "Staff administrated advanced life support to him, but unfortunately, despite the best effort of ambulance staff, it became clear that nothing more could be done to save him." A spokesman said he was confirmed dead at the scene. West Midlands Police said a post-mortem examination would be carried out while detectives continued inquiries. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
2 individuals who were arrested and jointly charged with the offense of robbery with violence in connection with the robbery at the Grand Mall gas station in St. George's last December have pleaded not guilty to the indictable offense, which carries a maximum penalty of 15 years imprisonment.
The matter involves Kriston Balboza, a 27-year-old Special Reserve Police officer of Tobago, and 28-year-old Stephen Francis, a fisherman of Victoria St. Mark. They entered not guilty pleas to the indictable offense of robbery with violence at their arraignment in the High Court earlier this month. The men reportedly held up the Grand Mall gas station at gunpoint, demanding money 3 days before the Christmas holiday in 2022. They reportedly fled the scene in an awaiting vehicle with just over $1,000. The matter was fast-tracked to the High Court via paper committal and is currently before Grenada's lone sitting criminal judge, Madam Justice Paula Guilford. They are being represented in the matter by attorney Jerry Edwin, who has successfully secured bail for them. Francis is currently on $10,000 $60,000 bail with 2 sureties and a 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. curfew. Meanwhile, Barboza, though still on remand at the Richmond Hill prison, has secured $60,000 cash bail and plans to take up a residency in the Woburn community.
Francis is on bail now. I got bail for him, but we requested bail for Mr. Christian Barboza, but the court was not satisfied that he had sufficient links here in Grenada. Still, we prevailed on the court to grant bail, and the court granted bail in the amount of 60,000 Eastern Caribbean dollars. I've spoken to his family, and as of right now, we are waiting those monies so that Christian could be placed on bail. Let me also say that in the circumstances, the court requested that this bail be cash because he's a non-Grenadian national.
For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.
Meanwhile, attorney Jerry Edwin is seeking bail in the High Court for 22-year-old Johannes Charles, who was arrested and charged in connection with the Juve morning execution-style shooting incident that claimed the life of 30-year-old Delvon Thomas and left well-known businessman Linton Warwood injured.
We have applied in the High Court for bail for this young man. He's a person of excellent character, I should say. This young man is a good, upstanding young man in the community, and everyone is shocked to know that he was arrested in connection with the gruesome events of Juve morning, in which nationals from Trinidad came into Grenada illegally, committed the dastardly act of murder and attempted murder, and then escaped.
Charles was arrested just days after the deadly shooting incident. He's facing charges of abetment of capital murder, abetment to attempt to commit capital murder, possession of a controlled drug, and possession of ammunition. He's been on remand at the Richmond Hill prison since the occasion of his first court appearance on August 21st.
What we are saying is that the conditions for bail are, A, that the person will show up. They're not a flight risk. They are persons of good character. And so there is no doubt in our mind that young Mr. Charles will, in fact, be at the courts in Grenada, whether it's the magistrate's court at the High Court, to answer any charge, but he vehemently denies any knowledge, prior knowledge, any involvement in the Egmont murder.
Another group of young men and women has commenced police training as the Royal Grenada Police Force engages recruits for the year 2023. Rena Pierre-Thomas has this report.
Recruit course number 47 of the Royal Grenada Police Force consists of 47 men and women who will undergo theoretical, practical and physical training to become police officers. Commandant of the training school, Superintendent Tafoa Pear, in his remarks, reminds the recruit of the importance of being a police officer, as they will be called to serve, protect the public and enforce the laws of Grenada. Superintendent Pear outlined what the 5-week training will entail.
Throughout these 5 weeks in-person segment of training, the design will capture a broad range of subjects retrofitted to prepare you for the job training and virtual phase. Some core foundational subjects will be taught together with practical sessions. Subjects such as emotional intelligence, observation and deduction, mastering the pocketbook, station diary, report writing, statement taking, among others. The design is uniquely engineered to create that base that you desperately need for your job training and virtual versions to continue.
Acting Commissioner of Police Don McKenzie told the recruits that their training is just the foundation of becoming a police officer and encouraged them to put out their best to add value to the Royal Grenada Police Force.
Your role as police, when you become that, is a force for good. I want to urge you to use this training, because that's what this training is all about. You will not become professional after 4 weeks, but it becomes a building block. Save Grenada depends on a well-functioning and professional organization, RGPF.
Deputy Commissioner of Police Jesmond Prince said that the 47 men and women were selected from 500 applicants. He cautioned the recruits not to fall victim to bad culture within the force, reminding them that the aim is to provide high-quality service to the country.
There is what we call police culture when you get out there, and you'll find the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you have good intention, if you have a mind that is desirous of building and expanding your knowledge and being the best you can be at this job, you will seek out the good and follow the good. But if you have devious intention and you have a bad mind, as we would say, all the work that will be done here with you, all the shaping and the molding and the presenting you as a finished product will just go to waste. Because why? You go out there and you give heed to the wrong things.
The launch of the training was held on Tuesday at the Royal Grenada Police Force Training School at Point Celine. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Welcome back. The Girl Guides Association in Grenada is celebrating 98 years of girl guiding and female empowerment in Grenada. And this year, the celebration coincides with the observance of International Day of the Girl Child, October the 11th.
The Girl Guides Association is a non-profit organization focusing on the holistic development of young girls, from as young as 3 years right up to adulthood. Chief Commissioner of the Girl Guides Association, Tamara Savory, said they believe their efforts have positively impacted the lives of many.
The International Day of the Girl Child. This year, the focus is on investing in the girls so that they can be global leaders. And we do have a lot of work to do, because the way that life goes, we know that we need to be really prepared. And so what we teach our girls to do, even in the way that they wear their uniforms and they conduct themselves, we try to instill in them the morals and values that they need. So
Commissioner Savory said with the support of the Spotlight Initiative, they have now embarked on a campaign to further elevate the call for voices of young girls to be heard.
So we are in our final quarter, and we have planned the Guiders in Council, which is a basic training for our leaders. And we're so proud to be sponsored by Spotlight Initiative, which is an arm of UN Women. And it is a Voices Against Violence campaign. So we're going to be training our leaders and some of the younger leaders from TAMCC on how to be advocates for Voices Against Violence.
Parents are encouraged to get the girls involved, as it's not only about academics, but molding them into positive role models. Kenaya Julian and Haley Lewis are both members of the Girl Guides Association.
Being a girl guide for me has been so awesome. I started at the St. Giles Anglican School, and now I am at the Anglican High School, where we first started. My favorite part of being a girl guide is to be around other girl guides and girls, because first of all, we make friends, and that is very nice because I get to meet a lot of brand new people. And I really like sleepovers because we get to interact in many different ways. And I'm proud to be around you. We learn different kinds of things. We learn how to be a proper young lady.
After decades at its location on Church Street, the Girl Guides Association is in need of a home. The organization's chief commissioner has extended an invitation to both public and private stakeholders for an accessible area that girls, parents, and leaders can easily access their resources.
Need of our headquarters. We have been graciously allowed to be at Church Street from the Anglican Church. But now we do have to move. We're moving out this week, and we need somewhere to go. So it is a carry-on call for the persons in the business community, government organizations, whomever, that you should contact us, and we would really be an asset to your business. We can collaborate, and we can continue to serve Grenada. We can be reached at grenadagirlguides@gmail.com. You can also contact us via Facebook, which is the Girl Guides Association of Grenada.
Christelina John.
26 nurses in Grenada will benefit from bilateral training in the field of midwifery and maternal health over the next 3 weeks, offered by the People's Republic of China. More in this report.
Starting October 11th to the 31st, 26 nurses on the island are participating in a bilateral training course on the nursing technology of maternal health for Grenada. The course, which is the first of its kind in Grenada, is facilitated by 5 experts consisting of doctors and nurses from the Hunan Children's Hospital. The People's Republic of China offered the training in collaboration with Hunan Children's Hospital and the government of Grenada. The aim of the training is to improve the capacity of nurses and midwives involved in maternal and newborn care, ultimately improving the overall state of maternal health in Grenada. Chief Nursing Officer Nesta Edwards at the opening ceremony of the training said the nurses would experience both hands-on and theoretical training.
During the next 3 weeks, the participants will be engaged in both theoretical and hands-on training in a number of areas, including identification of critical illnesses in pregnancy, pediatric cardiopulmonary resuscitation, neonatal cardiopulmonary resuscitation, critical illnesses in the neonatal period, caring for the preterm newborn, among others.
The Hunan Children's Hospital is a first-class 3-grade 1 general children's hospital integrating healthcare, teaching, scientific research, and disease prevention. Furnished with 1,000 beds and staffed with over 2,000 employees, the hospital has 32 clinical departments, 40 wards, and 8 medical labs. Shi Xiongwei, Vice President of Hunan Children's Hospital, through a translator, expressed the hope that the training will improve the relationship between both countries and positively affect the lives of Grenadians.
As a pioneer of the national maternal and child health projects, we have shared our Hunan pediatric and corporate technologies into countries along the Belt and Road Initiative, such as Cambodia, Sierra Leone, Zanzibar, Philippines. We thus hope that this training will further deepen our mutual understanding, consolidate our friendship, and assist the local hospitals to improve the maternal and child health care. We also hope that we can work with Grenada medical and nursing experts to share our experiences, seek common development, and make a positive contribution to the health development in China and Grenada for the good health for all.
Minister for Health Jonathan Lacret thanked the People's Republic of China and the Hunan Children's Hospital for their support.
Healthcare fraternity and nursing fraternity and clinical fraternity, I believe training like these, they sort of jolt us into the reality that it restores and solidifies the kind of behaviors and attitudes and knowledge and skills that we should be displaying as professionals at this level of the healthcare sector. So we are indeed grateful for the provision of this 3-week training. Thank you very much. Please do convey our deepest gratitude and appreciation to your government and to Ambassador.
For GBN News, I am Rena P. Thomas reporting.
13 entrepreneurs in Grenada's agriculture sector are winners in the Blue-Green Digital Innovation Challenge.
The challenge was launched in June 2023 by the government of Grenada with support from the United Nations Development Programme, the UNDP, and the Food and Agriculture Organization, the FAO, Regional Office for Latin America and the Caribbean. Each of the awardees will receive a grant of up to $30,000 to assist with starting or expanding their agro-processing or agri-tourism businesses. The successful entrants are Duchess Harvest Farms Grenada, Grenada Agrotourism, Akata Farms, Simply Pure Agro Processing, The Flower Garden Brand, Milkany Trading, Crunch Commodities, Sandy's Place and Catering Services, Sandy's Family Farm, I'll Be Well Inc., Fruity Moss Grenada, Genesis Added Value Nutmeg Cooperative Society Limited, Tri-Island Chocolate, and Revivafi. Addressing the award ceremony at the Radisson Grenada Beach Resort on Thursday, Minister for State with responsibility for agriculture and lands, fisheries, and cooperatives, Senator Adrian Thomas, commended the participants, particularly the young entrants, noting that the initiative aligns fully with government's policy for the sector.
Therefore, note that in this third call, applicants were only required to outline a clear problem to be addressed and a general idea of a possible solution. Applicants were connected to digital innovators and IT professionals to help them clarify and establish different solutions to address the issues. An innovation online seminar was held to highlight different potential ideas for new and innovative solutions businesses could consider. A comprehensive capacity building and mentorship component was included as part of the application process to help strengthen the quality of the proposals that were submitted. The grants being awarded today are at the end of the third call for proposals. There was 2 previous calls, and while several entities were receptive to receiving financial resources, they needed significant assistance to clearly express the needs and the proposed solutions. As such, the project had to design a new approach to the Digital Challenge Fund for the third call for proposals.
The UNDP's resident representative for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Ms. Limia El Tayeb, was also present to congratulate the winners and present awards. She noted that the initiative demonstrated how Grenadians could contribute to food security through technology, innovation, agro-processing, and agrotourism. Christina John, GBN News.
Spending time with the elderly can be refreshing because there's so much to be gleaned from their life experience. They may even be able to teach you a few tricks. The saying goes, old but not cold is no cliche. The GBN ISOL Lens shares with you a beautiful moment captured on camera in recognition of Mental Health Week. It's time for your GBN ISOL.
A good eye captures all. GBN ISOL is brought to you by Clear Vision.
Tonight's ISOL submission involves some of the nation's elderly citizens as Grenada continues to recognize Mental Health Week. Our citizen journalist said that as part of Mental Health Week within the Ministry of Social Development, the Psychosocial Unit, in collaboration with the Desk of the Elderly, visited the Katrona Home for the Aged and the Grandance Home for the Aged to share some quality time with the residents.
Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Crisscross. Chop, chop, real smooth.
Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp at 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Yes, we're back. It's the 7th annual Corn Festival going down on Sunday, October 29th at the popular Footprint Bar behind Sand. Corn will be in all forms and fashions, from asham to roast corn to boiled corn, pay me to conky to corn soup and much, much more. With loads of entertainment and games for everyone. So be there from 2 p.m. because there will be loads of beach games, dominoes, maypole dancing, and string band music. Mark your calendar and make sure you're part of Confest 2023 on Sunday, October 29 at Footprint Bar, Lauriston, Carriacou. Our partners for this event are the Grenada Tourism Authority, the Antillean Group, Ministry of Carriacou and Petty Martinique Affairs, National Lotteries Authority, Arisa Credit Union, Massa, Grenadine Airways Limited, and Classic Caribbean Lighting. Corn. Cornfest 2023, October 29th. I'll see you there.
Introducing the NIS Dream Loan, where possibilities are boundless and your aspirations are our priority. No matter where life takes you, NIS Dream Loans are here to make your dreams a reality. From purchasing your first plot of land or dream property to renovating spaces, building your home, and seamlessly switching mortgages, we cater to every step of your journey. And here's what sets us apart. We offer easy financing options with competitive interest rates, quick approval processes, and flexible repayment terms. So why wait? Apply now and let our dedicated NIS team guide you through this exciting journey. Visit nisgrenada.org/dream loan or call 440-3309 to book an appointment. Terms and conditions apply. Your dream awaits.
Climate change is real, bringing hotter days and less rain. Less rain means less water, so it's crucial for us to conserve water at home. When washing my vehicle, I use a bucket with rainwater that I have stored. This is how I save water. What are you waiting for?
You want to get an insight into your life? Are you willing to find astrological solutions? Master Shivrudra, the world's best psychic and spiritual healer with competency in other services too. He has guided many people who are going through a situation to find solutions to their problems and use astrological remedies for positivity. He provides services to get your ex-love back, negative energy removal, family problem solutions, health problem, and many more.
He located at Grenada STT, George's. Call him or WhatsApp +1 for 735375939.
Hi, good day. My name is Kyle Sylvester. I am the manager and founder of Case Farming Enterprise. We're an agro-processing business that are involved in the processing of agricultural goods, where we do bottle seasoning packs, lettuce, kale, and broccoli. Sometimes we as human beings get sick or injured on the job. NS provides a safety net for us. I am here to encourage other entrepreneurs and self-employed persons to sign up under the NIS Self-Employment Program.
All right, welcome back, viewers and listeners. It's time for the conversation. Of course, it's 16 minutes gone past the hour of 7 o'clock. And as promised last week, I told you that we had a double header from Garfin. Last week, we had two goodly gentlemen, Mr. Fletcher and Mr. Martin, and they talked about the role Garfin plays in the regulation of the insurance companies. And I told you this week it will be the financial aspect, meaning the credit unions. Now, Garfin overlook the credit unions as well. They're usually referred to as non-bank institutions, financial institutions. So I'm joined this morning by Miss Matonia Munroe and Miss Kezzy John, representing Kezzy Simon. Why John came to me? I hope I did not cause any problems. No. Okay, all right, good. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
Could you say that again?
Good morning.
That's harmonious. You should do it as duet. Yes. All right. Well, folks, let me just make you aware. The one to my immediate right, Miss Munroe, every now and then you would hear me playing a Jamo song, Born Again, and that's the voice that's talking in front of it. Yes? And I'm sure you heard me say that before, that whenever Pastor Stanford Simon is here, I always tell him that she preached a sermon a Sunday morning that I was at the church at the time, and it was awesome. But she's not talking about that this morning. All right, this morning she's talking about regulations of the within the financial sector. So let's start it with Garfin. What is Garfin's role really in the non-bank financial sector?
Well, Garfin is there to provide oversight. As our colleague said last week, they're the single regulatory body on island. So for the non-bank, it's not just credit unions. People tend to think it's just credit unions. So we have the credit unions, we have money services, micro-lending, which is like your fast cash, those micro-lending, and we have the development bank is also under us, and a few other legislations that we're responsible for. So we provide oversight for the acts and regulations to make sure compliance in that regard.
While at that, I remembered when I was teaching, there was a school saving union and things like that.
That also falls on yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's good. And so at present, how many of these, especially the credit unions, how many credit unions do we have on island?
We have 10 credit unions on island.
And how solid is the credit union? I mean, in recent time, there has been talk that, when you look at the services that are being offered and the instruments that are offered, bank compared to the credit union, it was believed that, as a matter of fact, when I was in the Department of Cooperatives, I also pushed the narrative that the credit union movement will take over but certain things are not in place as yet, like the being on the clearinghouse system and things like that. But how are the credit unions performing in Grenada, really?
Okay, well, with regards to performance of the credit unions, as Ms. Simon would have alluded to, one of Garfin's main role, of course, is to provide oversight as well, to aid with confidence, some level of financial confidence. So we take monitoring the institutions very, very seriously, and just more or less investigating to ensure, when I say investigating, but to inspect, to ensure that things are occurring as it is intended. We do have a benchmark, which provides a lot of guidance in terms of where the credit union should be, how they should be performing, and so a lot of monitoring efforts, both on-site and off-site, are involved in that. You would appreciate that the credit union's operations are happening in real time. Okay, and so Garfin's role as a monitoring regulatory body, more so, we get information, of course, regularly, but we have to inspect those informations to see that things are happening in the way that it ought to. But the operational activities of the credit union obviously are happening up front. So as far as we are aware, we have not seen anything that will trigger worry or fear. We do believe and have confidence that the sector is strong, that it is growing, and we do feel like there are things that are clearly seen and clearly shown to indicate that the sector indeed is recording healthy movements at this point in time. But of course, we continue to monitor.
Because that's so very correct. I mean, coming out of the just concluded OECS Credit Union Summit, and I get to understand that the credit unions in the OECS has assets of $2.something billion US.
Yes,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But is the credit union making the movement in the region? Let's look at the region. Is it making that impact so much on the financial sector that eventually they will get onto the clearinghouse system? That's a technical one.
Well, I mean, different credit unions, not just within the region but worldwide, you would find that the more you experience what is happening operationally with credit unions, perhaps on beyond the region, internationally, that there are actually some credit unions that pretty much function as like banks, particularly in the developed world. Within the ECCU, we have, I may not call it challenges, but you do recognize that there is a full banking system, and there is the ECCB, which is really the regulatory body for the banking sector. And so those particular requests may be more challenging simply because of the presence of banks, the rules of banks, the size of these entities, and to what extent are we looking at if, in fact, credit unions are on the same playing field as banks, what that can mean for credit unions in terms of the nature of the credit unions and the question of whether or not they should pay taxes. So there are more complicated considerations in terms of having these types of services, but the credit union clearly is it's naturally morphing on its own, and with divestments and so forth, it's a question that perhaps they may have to look at more closely going forward.
Yeah, and with time, something that that I've observed, and I would like to see. You see programs like these, the GAFIN and the credit unions themselves. I would like to see them taking a more educational role in you're really educating the general public as to the difference, because there's a marked difference with the credit union and the bank. All right, a lot of folks might not even know that. And once you're in the credit union, you're not a customer. You're a shareholder. Once you sign up with the credit union, so the way you're supposed to be treated and everything like that. But in terms of GAFIN's role, how does GAFIN conduct its surveillance or inspection to ensure that the credit unions are remaining compliant?
Well, as Mrs. Munroe already alluded to, we do what is called on-site and off-site monitoring. So off-site monitoring is done obviously more often. In terms of the credit union, they report to us their financial statements on a monthly basis. According to if there is an issue or so, it can be more often. Other entities would report on a quarterly basis. So we look at the financial information that comes in, and that guides us in determining if we need to go in to do on-site inspection. So basically, that is how we get the information that we monitor to make our decisions.
So ever so often, I know in the banks, I think it's, I don't know if it's changed now, but when I was in the banking industry, we would have external folks coming in and do inspection, or what you call audits, not audition, audits. Yeah, on a timely basis. So do you all do this sort of things?
We do. Yeah. I mean, we don't have a schedule per se. It depends on what is happening, the information we receive. Then we would decide if we go in to do an inspection. I mean, an inspection should be done, or we try to do an inspection, not let it pass 2 years. Okay. But if a situation comes up, then we will go in more often.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are some of the problems? I mean, like anything else, situations, world economic situations, and so forth. What are some of the problems the credit unions are facing in Grenada?
Well, as you would imagine, the last rounds of review that the IMF did here, they did allude to some of their findings. They did speak extensively, I would find, on the credit unions. And one of the areas that we definitely agree on is that there has been some spikes in the area of delinquency. So that clearly is an area of significant concern for us, because it speaks of the quality of the loans. We do know from the trends and from the information that we are receiving the role loan interest income plays really and truly in the bottom line of the credit unions. So that is at the heart of credit unions. So this is an area of concern. We do concur with the report and agree with some of the findings of the IMF, because in our own inspections and reviews, we do find that indeed is an issue. So that in particular is an area that we we look at very regularly. It's particularly for what we call the systemic credit unions, being the larger of the 10 credit unions. It's a point that we note very regularly, and as Ms. Simon alluded to, that is one of the driving factors that gets us into those particular systemic credit unions more regularly than not. To monitor that, we monitor it on, off-site. So that is one of the issues. And we do appreciate the role that the pandemic has caused, but we also want to make sure that it does not become a staying factor. We are working assiduously with those particular institutions to make sure that that goes down, and so that depositors' monies obviously can be protected at the end of the day.
There are times people you would hear people comment that where they appreciate the functions and the roles of the credit union, but in recent times you'll find people saying that it is becoming too much like the commercial bank, right? Do you get that sort of comments?
We do. I mean, of course, on the street, just in our own regular capacity, I'm pretty sure Ms. Simon can allude to that. People speak very widely. We live in a very small society, so persons' viewpoints, you would hear it. I mean, the thing is, the credit unions, they are growing, and they are growing at an alarming rate. Once you expand, there are certain decisions operationally that responsible executives, responsible management personnel will just have to take, and that comes by virtue of the size of the institution. But there is a very technical balance with that, and I would say the challenge is perhaps at the board level, managerial level, to determine how is it that the credit union can grow, can facilitate that growth, can meet with demands, and still maintain the original philosophy of the credit union, which is people helping people. And as the credit union continues to expand, I'm pretty sure that continues to be a challenge in the minds of those who are leading the credit union at that level, to determine how do we maintain that core principle and still expand in a competing market. So it's an interesting element within the market, as well as Gaffin continues to look at that. We continue to watch that. We just have to make sure that the credit union performs properly and that depositors' monies are secure, and at the end of the day, that there is some kind of financial confidence in that sector.
As it relates to the development of the instruments or the facilities that are offered by the various credit unions, to come up with a package, or in the financial field we call it the instrument, whether it's a loan or whatever. How is that designed? I mean, does the credit union assess the communities and thereby go back and have their board meetings and say we need to design something that would accommodate, let's say, the farmers, right? Design something for farmers, or designs an instrument or facility that would accommodate the fisher folks and so forth. How is that done?
Well, I do believe it's done on some level, because you do see different, how would you call it? You refer to as packages, but at different times of the year you will see different loans being offered with different types of what is required for the loan would change. So I do think the credit union, the board and management do try to tailor their loan packages to their clientele. So I think that is discussed at their level, because we see Christmas promotions and they target different people, the carnival promotions, they target different people, even see probably a back to school promotion. So I believe that is done.
Now, Gaffin is supposed to be that buffer between the credit union and the members. So aggrieved members, how do they let's assume a member has an issue, or there's some I want to guard my words. All right, there's some dispute then. Can a member come to Gaffin and make complaints, and how is that done?
Well, the Act allows for that. So under the Corporate Society Act, section, I believe is 194, speaks to that. If there's a complaint to be made or any grievances, a member can officially come to GARFIN and make a complaint. Now, GARFIN now has to perform some sort of GARFIN, or they can appoint someone to conduct an investigation or just look into the complaint to see if there's any merit. So that's the first step. 194 of the Act further, it goes on to say that even though there's an issue between a member and the credit union can proceed with their legal rights. So even though there's a dispute and the credit union is acting on it, they're legally, it's okay for them to do that while an investigation is being carried out. Okay. But the Act is very clear that any member with any problem can come to the regulator.
And that's interesting because you notice the phone line started lighting up already while we talk. Because people do have concerns, and the ordinary layman sometimes you get involved with an institution, and sometimes the terminologies and the procedures and so forth, they're not really resonating well, so you feel sort of isolated and they just accept what's presented. But from GARFIN's perspective, though, what are some of the major challenges that you find in executing your monitoring role and administration roles?
Well, I must say that GARFIN, particularly from the perspective of its leadership, endeavors to have a good relationship, a good working relationship at the very least with the sector, understanding that we must work together in order to be able to achieve, the common goal. And so having good relations, and when I say that, being able to have discourse, being able to have an open door where information can flow through, that has happened. I cannot say that we've been having particular difficulties, particularly among the systemic credit unions in terms of refusal to cooperate. So we've been having, being able to maintain a relationship that breeds cooperation. We, like, as Ms. Simon indicated, we have a mechanism where we collect information at least monthly or at least quarterly in some instances, but for systemic credit unions in particular, monthly. And if there is a need in terms of our inspections or in terms of our monitoring that we feel we need information even up to weekly, we can do that. And we do have that kind of cooperation in terms of the flow of information to facilitate monitoring activities. I can't honestly say that there is an issue with that. There may obviously be differences in when it's time to discuss findings or when it's time to raise issues. Of course, you would have two sides, and each side may have a viewpoint or may have a reason why they wish to do something that perhaps the regulator is suggesting this may not be best at this time. So there is discourse and there is room for disagreements, but our mandate is very clear as regulators. We know what we are required to do, and we take it very seriously. And so I think what we need in order to be able to have that is there, and that is cooperation. And I have to say that we are grateful for that level of cooperation among the sector participants.
We're looking at the juniors now, the school savings union and so forth. How operative is that presently? As a little child growing up, I know, I think it was every Friday or so, you bring your 25 cents and you write it in your book and so forth. Is that still existent?
Yeah, it's quite an active sector. Yeah, where right now I think we have 76 school registered.
School savings union?
Yes, registered. Yeah. And there are more. But this is what's on the books.
Okay. But there's another one I think that might be extinct now, the societies. Yeah,
the friendly societies. They're still there.
I remember on years gone by on a Sunday afternoon, that used to be my grandfather's afternoon stroll. Walk up from Pearls to Tivoli to Pace Society. But that's still operational?
It's still there.
It's still there.
Okay. All right. Is there anything you think that you'd like to, add, send to the public? We just what the intent of this program really, as I was saying before, we're trying to ensure that our listeners are not only entertained, but they're also informed as well. So ever so often, well, I've spoken with, representative from GAFIN already, that ever so often, maybe once a month, you can drop by and see what's happening in the sector and so forth. And so is there anything specific you'd like the listening public to know as it relates to GAFIN and stuff?
Well, what I would just add is that we're happy that we are here. We do think that public information and public education is very important, particularly with GAFIN, what we do. And we're just really happy to be able to share that information to the general public and hope to create more awareness so that people can be more vested in what they are doing and understand that you're not just a holder of a credit union account, you're not just a participant of Fast Cash and other areas, but it's important to understand who they are and the entities that you are either transmitting your money through or saving through. So we're just really happy to do that, and we hope that the public is better educated.
Okay, that was Miss Munroe.
Well, I'll say the same. Given that it is October and it's Financial Literacy Month, GAFIN will be doing other initiatives and activities during this month so that the public is more aware of what we do and how we do it.
Is it pop-ups here and there?
Yes,
okay.
And especially with the schools, because you need to start with the younger generation now.
That is something that I'm trying to get organized, get started, but I'm waiting on sponsorship. I think that financial literacy really needs to be taught from early childhood. Because there are some big folks like me that still don't know how to save. So But well, I would like to thank you for joining us this morning, and I am certain viewers and listeners did benefit from the short discussion that we had, but we'll make it as frequent as possible. That I can promise. Ever so often you'll get a call from me saying, as a matter of fact, we'll try to design a day, whether it's the first Monday or the third Tuesday of every month, GAFIN would be here with us, so that our viewers and listeners can ask their questions and get clarifications on certain things. So bring my regards back to GAFIN, and have yourselves a wonderful day. Folks, we'll take a commercial break. We'll be back after this. When we get back, I have representatives from Sissons Paints here with us this morning. We'll be back.
Grenada for decades. We are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sunny Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wire and accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada and St. George. Sudden Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
Grenada, get ready. A new season of the Grenleg Debates is coming. Informative, impromptu, bright young minds sparking powerful ideas. The Grenleg Debates. The Grenleg Debates will be broadcasted on GBN TV Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m., Sundays at 4 p.m. Broadcast begins Saturday, October 7th. Tune in.
My name is Alimaka Motley. I've been here doing nails since 2017. Me being self-employed, I have realized that paying the NIS benefits me now and even when I retire. By the time I'm 65, I will be receiving contributions back from NIS. So I benefit because I'm self-employed. Anything can happen. If anything happens to you while you're at work, you've got a bad cold, you have the COVID, you have dengue, we have all these diseases that's plaguing us at the moment. NIS will be giving you back some form of money when you're ill. So I would encourage all small business persons to sign up with NIS now.
And so it begins, a journey like none other. Every moment has the potential to be unforgettable. Bring home a piece of the tropical green forest with every emerald. Capture the sparkling light of flawless water in a diamond. Make the sunrise and sunsets last forever. With precious colored gemstones, the essence of happiness is in our most precious memories. So, when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will last forever. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
We say, yeah, GBN we say, arts and culture living, yeah. Rock the box we say, I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box we say, I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box we say, we'll be jamming here on a Thursday. It's a
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. 17 minutes on to 8 o'clock. We've got 17 minutes to talk Sissons Paints with me, Mr. DeAllie and Mr. Neckles from Sissons Paint. And, you know, in the pre-conversation, I'm happy. You know, we're happy having that conversation because Sissons has just done the benchmarking of their products and they've come out on top. And that's the good news we want to share this morning, that not everything local is substandard. Yeah. Sissons Paint has proven that. Good morning, lady and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Mr. DeAllie, I miss you in the Senate.
Good morning, and good morning to your listeners and viewers. We're happy to be here.
Nice. So give us, especially now, everybody is, as Blossom would use her own word, preparating themselves for the Christmas to beautify and so forth, and to get this good news that Sissons Paint, compared to other paints internationally and locally, came out first, second, and third in a number of categories.
Correct.
It's pretty good news.
Yes, let Mrs. Neckles go, and then I'll chime in.
So, as most people are aware or may not be aware, Sissons Paints is owned by Ansamaka, our parent company, which is the biggest Caribbean conglomerate right now. And our parent company commissioned a benchmarking study just to see, because we are in the business of continuous improvement. So if you looked at, I'm only with Sissons for 3 years, and in that 3 years we've done so much. We don't count 2020. You know, everybody's 2020 is like a non-year, really, right? But we have in 2021 we reformulated our WeatherGuard Pro. WeatherGuard Enhancer Formula launched WeatherGuard Pro. We reformulated our texture coating, and we were one of the best on the market right now. So in that vein of continuous improvement, we wanted to see how our product stacks up against not just regional brands, but international brands as well. So we commissioned a UK company to do this for us, undertake this for us. And the results were amazing. And as Chris said earlier, it proves that we do just as well or better with products that are made in the Caribbean.
Well, yeah, not just
made in Grenada.
Of course,
made in Grenada,
obviously. And from a Sissons perspective, when the results were brought forward, how did Sissons feel?
Well, I mean, we were excited, to say the least, because you operate for years in an environment and you're not sure, from objective data, whether or not you stuck and where you stuck and where you are placed. So when we commissioned this study was to all get an understanding of where our products. The Ansa Macal Group, we own 4 paint companies across the region. We have one in Barbados, one in Jamaica, Trinidad, and Grenada. So in the coating sector, we do a lot. And we have 3 brands that we operate under, Sissons, Berger, and Penta. And these 3 brands, we took 78 samples of these brands and sent it for testing across the 10 categories that we operate in. And what came out is that we stood above the rest, both imported stuff and regional ones, and from countries like the US and so on. So that gave us a sense of pride and understanding, because one of our mantras, across this group is we need to inspire better choices for a better world. That's what we are about now. Mm-hmm. And the choice here for us is that here it is, this company, Sissons in Grenada, manufacturing almost 40 years now.
Yeah, I grew up here in Sissons.
Right.
Sissons, yeah.
And in the early days we were fighting with the company almost that time, but in the early days we used to fight with locals to say, well, you're making this thing local, that ain't good, man. Because we have this thing about
inferiority complex.
Right.
Yeah, you have to be good because you come from over.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we were fighting that for years, but now we have real data to show that, listen, the products that we make and we manufacture here and regionally stand among the best.
Correct.
And better than 90% of the rest are coming in. So we happy about that, and we hear about trying to tell people, this is something that, and as Reyan said, we have done so much in the last few years. We have a new color system we introduced called Innova Tint. And, it's to deal with our formulations are done in such a way to deal with our environment. So in the Caribbean, we have issues with fading and the sun and the heat. We are more wet climate than you will see for products coming in. So we formulate so that we could resist fungus and mold. And, we have to make paints that could stand up to the wear. And so there's a thing called scrubbability in paint, which means essentially you could wipe it many times and don't have problems. So we formulate for our environment. So this is why we're saying that stuff coming in from various competitors may not be suited to our particular environment because they formulate for different environments. But for us in the Caribbean, we know what we're facing. So when our technical people get together and we look at all the issues and comments and complaints coming from customers, and we make the shifts. And we boast, and I'm saying it again, we boast of being on cutting edge technology.
It's important to boast now, right? It's very important because, coming off from, competing on international standards and to have a product that is made from scratch in how our grandparents used to say, Jukutu Grenada, little Grenada, and standing above the rest. That is something to be boastful about.
Yeah.
You know, you got the opportunity to blow the trumpet. Now, as it relates to the customers now, all right, we're happy Sissons has done it again. Sissons the champ has done it again. All right?
You still remember that?
Of course. I tell you, I grew up with Sissons. Right? And for how does that translate to the customer now?
Right. So where we sit is that we have always said that when we come to our customers, there are a few things we want to ensure. First of all, they get highest quality paint. We want to ensure the price is competitive. And that is repeated from time to time. Consistency is important for us. So we could continue doing the same thing, and customers could be assured that when they interact with us, the service is above the rest. So we just introduced a new color shop concept in Sissons, and the only way I could describe that is that you just need to come and see it.
Yeah.
So you could understand.
Right.
So we're offering a new experience when you come to us, and in a nice environment. And the issue is about, as Reyan said, is constantly trying to improve where we can, both from a service level and from a product quality and product enhancement. So we always say it's not only about paint, it's about the people and the customers. And our people at Sissons, we can't leave out our staff. Our staff have been at the cutting edge. We spend time to train them to ensure that from the time we answer the phone, the service you get from there, from the time you buy the product and leave, continues. And that's what we want to talk about and boast about.
And one of the things that this benchmarking, it also, validates and proves what we have been saying for a long time, that our paint, the paint that we make here in Grenada, is of world-class standards, and we don't take that lightly. And we have been saying that for years. We specifically formulate our paint, as Chris just said, to deal with the issues that are specific to the Caribbean. Algae, weather resistant. And this study proved that what we were saying all along in terms of our paint being the best on the market, the study, speaks for itself. It proves what we've been saying all along.
In a sense, they say the thing with the piper, who paying the piper get his tune. So we were careful that when we went to do this, we went to a company in the UK that is totally independent. The UK don't know what paint we make in here.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yes.
So they asked us to send the samples, and they would do the comparisons, and which we did. And the study is independent from the standpoint that we have no influence on this body that is doing this. That is what they do for their living. So they test samples from various parts of the world in paint and so on. And this is why we went there.
And the results prove it.
Yeah,
the results prove it.
I mean, we were surprised as well. We were surprised as well when it came back, because we know we're making good stuff. But
we didn't realize it was so good.
And hearing it from somebody else, reinforces that. Listen, guys, we're doing something good, so let's continue.
Now, you mentioned something that I was going to go there, but you went there before me. From a staff perspective, the development of your staff it must be key in your end product, as you rightfully say, from that phone call that receptionist gets. What does Sissons do to lift the morale and always keep even the receptionists on top of the game, so that from the first point of contact, that customer is or that prospective customer is going to become a customer?
Well, we try to create an environment within the company that is comfortable for workers to be involved in. So we have a small family, it's about 50 of us. So we consider that small. So we in contact with each other every day. But generally, when we bring in people into the company to work, there's an onboarding that takes place. What our principles are, what we stand for. And Samakal, being the 100% owner of the company, also have very strict standards of what we expect in terms of how staff is to behave, how they're supposed to operate. But we spend time training our people, which is constant every day, and into understanding the customer. So when a customer comes in, whether they interacted with us, they have a complaint, we have a thing where we want to solve complaints within or deal with it within 24 hours. So we set standards that we expect the staff to follow. And if there's variations, as there would, because people you're dealing with, we look to see how we could rectify it. But at the end of the day, we encourage what we talk about, the family feeling in the company. So everybody feels part of the company. So it's not that you're coming to a job. Right?
That's the key.
Yeah. You're coming to an environment where you must be part of the family and you exhibit the traits of how you will deal with your family, that you want this place to grow better and do better every time you interact.
Yeah.
And that is the issue, whether it's internally or externally. And so we encourage that as much as possible. And we have gotten good feedback. I'll tell you, innocent, over the years, they say young people, turbulent and so on. But the experiences we have with our young members of staff is excellent.
Because of the embrace from the family. The family embracing. Now, for distribution throughout the region, Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, and here, are there communications between sharing of technology and so forth? So the same results that we get here in Grenada, the customers from Jamaica would boast of the same thing. So it's standardized.
Yes, standardized across the region. And because of, because of the size of the conglomerate, we have us in sectors. So our sector is construction, which is paint and related materials like block making, clay blocks, cement blocks, and so on. So in that sector, all of us are controlled. So all these coating companies, the 4 across the region, will talk and exchange information. There's standards for technical, there's standards for what we do, how we communicate and all of that. So that is what we do, so that we ensure that wherever, so Grenada is responsible for Grenada and the OECS. Trinidad handles Trinidad, Suriname, and South America, and Jamaica handles Jamaica and countries close by like Belize and so on. So we have it in such a way that we, across the region, we could give the same quality of service and the same quality of product, so that you buy a burger in Jamaica and you buy one in Barbados, or you buy one here. Same
thing. Okay.
Same product.
All right. Now, the recent benchmark that just came out, going into the Christmas season now, seasons and Christmas goes hand in hand, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what can our customers anticipate for the Christmas?
Ms. Neckles,
so we have some exciting promotions coming up for the Christmas, and it starts on Monday, next Monday.
Oh.
So our customers, so as you know, we started manufacturing Berger last year. So Sissons makes both Sissons paints and Berger paints, both of which we export. We sell here and we export into the OECS markets. So we have 2 lovely promotions for our customers this year on both brands. So with Sissons, customers who buy our Tex Coat or Easy Clean, they get a chance to win a room painted for free, up to $2,000.
Wow.
Yes. And for our Berger customers, any Berger product you buy, we'd have discounts on certain Berger products, but any Berger product you buy, you get a chance to win $1,000 shopping spree. Any Berger product. And all of that starts on Monday.
So let me ask you now, as I've been such a good host, is there anything in place that I can have my house painted?
Anytime. It may cost you a little while. We're happy to paint your house. Remember, it's a room we painted. So.
Just a room. Let's focus on a room.
I knew that was coming. But on a serious note, as we wrap up, because we have to join the BBC, but I really want to congratulate Sissons. I grew up with Sissons. My grandmother usually wait for Christmas to go and get Sissons paint to paint the house. So hence the reason why this thing stayed in my head. The champ has done it again, and so much more. But anything that you would like to highlight before we wrap up?
Well, I would just say, our new mantra now is try, tested, and chew. After this benchmark,
all the T's.
We tried, tested, and now we chew to the principles of quality and what we do there, and it exudes from service to products to all the entire range. So we're happy that, and that's why we came to spread the news, because we're happy. I need our customers to know that when you interact with Sissons Paints in Grenada as a company for Berger or Sissons products, you're getting best in class.
internationally accredited and everything.
Internationally accredited. We had some brands that rated number 1 globally. Our Aqua Gloss, number 1 water-based ultra premium gloss paint globally.
Not just regional.
No. Wow. Aqua Gloss globally. Sissons WeatherGuard Pro, best performance out of all of the imported brands and the regionally made brands. Best performance in weather resistance, flexibility, resistance of fungus and algae. Then we had, there's a lot more. I know you have to go to BBC, so I'll just read off a couple of them. Our Berger 404, number 1 globally, outstanding performance in weather resistance. Reyan ranked the number 1 water-based interior ultra premium paint globally.
No smell.
Wow.
Globally.
Odorless.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, but congratulations again. And when you go back, well, I think one of my good friends in season has, said he served enough. That's Mr. Marshall.
Yes.
Yeah, he's gone home.
Retired,
but Dave is still there. Give Dave my regards. And as a matter of fact, by extension, the entire staff. Right? And I know as the season progresses, we'll get more information that we can put out all the great deals that will be on at Sissons.
Starting Monday.
Yes. I want you to answer me. I'm a Calypsonian, right?
Yes.
Sissons, the champ, has done it again. You see?
It's a lovely tagline.
I love it. All right, so congratulations once again. Thanks for sharing that information with us.
Thank you.
We look forward to all the the promos that's forthcoming. Folks, that's it for the conversation. Not much of interactions with you this morning, but you know how it goes at times. But the information that we had both from Garfin and Sissons Paint, very, very important information to us. So that's it for the program. Thank you for being a part of it. We joined the BBC already in progress.